This is Up Close and Personal with Dr. Andree Crepeau. Andree is a medical doctor from Montreal, Canada, and one of the co-founders of Friends of Crimea Canada. She is an anti-war and peace activist. Andree recently visited Crimea to see for herself the reality of Crimea's return to Russia. This is her second visit to Russia. The first was a motorcycle ride from Moscow to Vladivostok. She is a lifelong motorcycle enthusiast, beginning when she was only 13 years old. Here is Andree.
Hello, my name is Andree Crepeau. You can guess by my name that I am French speaking from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. And I am a medical doctor having a very interesting visit to Russia. Right now we are in Yalta, which has always been a very intriguing place for me because I know that the end of the war was planned, the last great war was planned here. So here we are. I came here for the first time on a motorcycle ride where I drove a motorcycle between Moscow and Vladivostok. At first it was just an adventure to see what Russia was like, but then it became a love affair with the Russian people because I discovered how these people live. And the reason I am here is to perhaps create a link between the two peoples, people of the West who are great and people in Russia and the East in general, even in China, to create some human bond. So there it is, that's me.
Tell me now a little bit about your family. You have a son and then two adopted children. Talk a little bit about the family, and you've been on trips together, other motorcycle trips, etc.
Yeah. My motorcycling career started very young. I first rode a scooter when I was probably 13 years old. Then it became a motorcycle, and then when I was 18 years old, I decided I wanted to visit Haight-Ashbury in San Francisco. So my little brother and I rode to San Francisco through the US. It was wonderful. This is the way you want to visit the world. You want to feel it, smell it, be close to it. And that's how I got going, and I haven't stopped since. I've traveled on a motorcycle through everywhere. Europe, China, Peru, South America, Alaska, British Columbia, everywhere. Anyway, I probably forgot a few places, but that's enough. And our family consists of my husband and three boys. One boy is ours. He's now 40 years old. And the other two are twins, and they have been adopted from Taiwan. They are now 30 years old. One of them lives in China, in Shenzhen, because China allows Taiwanese citizens to come to work in China as they wish. He's got a working visa and he's quite happy teaching English. The other one is an electrician and lives in Sherbrooke, where I am originally from, in the eastern townships of Quebec. So
what have you learned, not just in your travels around the world, but what have you learned about Russia that you would like people to know?
Well, I was amazed by the richness of this country. When we rode from Moscow to, I guess, Novosibirsk, it was planting time in May, and the tractors were out in the fields, and the fields were all dark brown earth, and there was not one rock. No rock walls, no rock piles, just pure, beautiful earth ready to grow. So that gave me an idea that the Chernozem in Russia is not a joke. It's huge. So they are totally able to feed half the world. Then I noticed that in all the little dachas, they all had their own fairly large garden, and they all had a little greenhouse. So these people are very close to the earth, and they can certainly survive any old way. Then we traveled many miles, and the vegetation was very similar to Canada. It was very clean, very well organized, sparsely populated, and people were always very smiling, very happy to see us. And Vladivostok is a real treasure. It's a beautiful city. Everyone should go to Vladivostok before they die.
Why do you doodle?
Doodling began as an absent-minded drawing, and then it became a stress reduction function, and then it became an art form. Look! The secret of the doodle, but I have many more pencils.
So what would you like people in Canada, people in the West to know about the Russian people?
Well, the Russian people have been molded by their destiny. I have realized that the destiny of Russia is to be at war, to be attacked and repulse it. Russia has won the war against Napoleon, World War I, World War II, and now World War question mark. And they know what suffering is, and they can understand empathy and can really feel how it is when you lose a person in a violent conflict. And I am absolutely convinced that the Russian people are peaceful. They are not warlike. They don't want war. They've had enough of it. That's what you feel when you come here. They're trying to do their best in their own country, which is rich and able to live on its own. And I'm really sad that this conflict started. You can think what you want about who started it, why, how, when. That's not important. The fact that war has come again to Russia is so sad. Another thing I discovered about Russia is that the Orthodox faith, in its spiritual sense, not political sense, is very important. It ties people together, and it gives them hope and strength. And it just reinforces for me that Russia is a peaceful place. The Orthodox Church is certainly not an aggressive institution, and I just hope for peace real quick.